someone who people doubted, counted out even. And they forgot what happened last year. They forgot what happened the year before that. The Cincinnati Bengals started out 1-4. They started out 1-4 last year. And this is just what frustrates me with the media, how lazy the media is. Bengals defense was still kicking ass early in the season. Just the offense was clunky. They couldn't read into Joe Burrow having the calf injury, missing training camp like he did the year before. And then he comes out there after the bye week. I picked them to beat the 49ers in this game because I said, damn it, the Bengals have to win it. And I believe in Joe Burrow. He is the second best quarterback in the league for a reason. And Joe Burrow went out there and did Joe Burrow things. Got T. Higgins involved, who's been needing some receptions in this game, needing to get going. Joe Mixon showed up in this game, someone who needed to get going. Jamar Chase is getting going, and then him and Joe Burrow are on the same page now, and then running like an absolute monster in this game. Joe Burrow came out after the bye week and is like, enough is enough. It is October football. We're about to get into November and December, where I am undefeated. I believe he's undefeated in November and December throughout most of his career. It's just so lazy for the media to bury this team in September. So lazy to be like, oh, the Bengals are finally falling off and taking a step back. Like, did you not learn anything from last year? Have you not learned anything with how you treated the Bengals last year? It's like you count them out and then you want to believe in this team and they disappoint you. It's like you have to be patient with these teams. You have to see the trends with New England sucking in September and then turning it on with Tom Brady. Remember when the sky was falling and they thought they should start Jimmy Garoppolo after the Patriots got crushed on Monday Night Football versus the Kansas City Chiefs? What'd they do? Go out there, got better every single week, and by the time Thanksgiving rolled around, the Patriots were an absolute monster, but the media would do the same thing every year with the Patriots, like, oh, this is the year they fall off. It's like, nope, Bengals aren't falling off this year. Their offensive line is going to get better. Their running game's going to get better. Joe Burrow is going to get better as the year goes on, and now they are 4-3. They are one game back from the division, even though the Ravens have played another game. They're just one game back in the loss column, and they are in perfect position to make another Super Bowl run, with the Chiefs having issues at wide receivers, with the Miami Dolphins not beating a winning team since they beat the Buffalo Bills last year, with the Jaguars still being a young team. They still have been there, have done it, and then we're going to see them match up against the Buffalo Bills this week, and they're going to show you again why you don't count this team out. It's so lazy. Like, why are we counting this team out? They did this last year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the Bengals, like, you know, a lot of this could be blamed on his injury. This is not an easy injury. This is a guy who, you know, while he isn't like a Lamar Jackson mobility wise, he is somebody that can move around in the pocket, can improvise like what Patrick Mahomes does. And having his ankle hurt limited his mobility. And now, you know, he's back. It looks like he's full strength. We had a Joe Burrow, dare I say, a Joe Burrow masterclass in this game against the Niners, a game that they had to win. They went out there and played great football, had a great game plan for the 49ers. Joe Burrow, one of the 5 quarterbacks in the league that can have one of these games where they just completely take over, had a nice run in this game. You saw Jamar Chase get involved. You saw T. Higgins. Joe Mixon, who has struggled throughout this season, starting to show why he's an elite running back. And their offensive line, which they've paid, it felt like $1 billion to over the course of the last few years, starting to show why that offensive line is starting to gel finally. So for the Bengals, like, it's funny. They're 4-3 now, and they look like they were dead in the water at points. And I understand why the media felt that way, because at a point, it looked like they were pretty bad at one point. But now, 3 straight wins, and now it's like, okay, the Steelers are starting Mitch Trubisky. The Browns are starting P.J. Walker. So you really have the Ravens to deal with currently. Despite those other teams having a good roster, it's like Bengals are going to start rattling off some wins. They have a pretty decent schedule moving forward. And again, it's the Bengals. They have a bit of a fear factor now. They are the only team that can beat the Chiefs, who have beaten the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow, the only guy outside of the greatest quarterback of all time to beat Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. So they're back.
Yeah.
Bengals are back.
They're back, and this is a team that last year was literally like Joe Burrow needs a half a second more, and they win that game versus the Kansas City Chiefs. They are a team that last year, when they went to Arrowhead, 4 of their 5 starters on the offensive line were hurt. those guys they paid the money to. So this is a team that can be even better than they were last year. This is a team when they got to the Super Bowl, if Joe Burrow had not even a half a second more, less time like that, would have been able to find Jamar Chase, and they could have won that game going away. This was a team where the refs were trying to clearly give the game to the Rams, where they had some pretty sus penalties at the end of the game where they just wanted the Rams to get into the end zone and win that game. This is a team that came back from being down 21-3 in Arrowhead versus the Kansas City Chiefs. This is a team that has one of the best defensive coordinators in the league with Lou Anarumo, the way he's able to adjust and switch the game plan, where he did it against Andy Reid, one of the best offensive coaches of all time. And then he did it with Kyle Shanahan, where I get the 49ers have been struggling, but this is still a tough team to stop. I mean, George Kittle was pretty much the only one who showed up in this game, and I get Deebo Samuel is out, but they still have plenty of weapons. I get Brock Purdy has been struggling, and this is their third straight loss, but it was still, they had 2 losses on the road, and you go into San Francisco coming off your bye, and then you kick their ass. And then not only do you kick their ass, that's a good defense. You got Nick Bosa on that team, Fred Warner, Ufonga, Diamador Lenore, and they're able to still go out there and then basically just take over. And Joe Burrow finally looked like himself. And then after the game, this is probably the most dangerous moment for the NFL. You just see Joe Burrow walking on the field like, I'm back.